All right, Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has started the countdown to the February 2016, February 16, 2019 presidential and National Assembly elections. The chairman of the commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, who gave the update on the preparations for the poll at the swearing-in of the 9 newly appointed resident electoral commissioners in Abuja, said it was now exactly 548 days to general elections. All right, Nelson Ekujumi, Chairman, Committee for Protection of People's Mandate, joins me now in the studio to talk about this. But thank you very much indeed for coming.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, Professor Mahmoud says, of course, we have about 548 days to general elections in 2019. It does appear this is a radical and pragmatic, departure from what we used to have. The, hurried approaches that we usually apply.
Well, thank you very much. I think, one, we must commend the present leadership of INEC for the step it has taken so far, in ensuring that, a critical ingredient for the conduct of the election, which is the continuous voters register, a valid voters register, that INEC some months back started the continuous voters registration exercise all over the country. And, that exercise, according to INEC, will continue until, some days as allowed by the Electoral Act before the elections. But be that as it may, I think it is also important for us to admonish INEC to take the feedbacks from these various continuous registration points across the state, so that, those challenges that people have, because you look at the exercise, to some areas, the point of, the continuous registration exercise is very, very far from the people. So there is need for INEC, to ensure that they decentralize the continuous voters registration exercise the more. And also, you recognize the fact that prior to now, we've always had this problem of the malfunctioning of some e-card reader. I think there is need for us, to look at that system and see
some of the challenges that were experienced in the last
election that, we improve on it. And also, INEC must not be the only one doing this. There is need for them, to sensitize and bring on board other relevant stakeholders, because the conduct of elections is not the responsibility of INEC alone. Yeah, it's a collective one.
Yeah, when you say bring in other, agencies, which other agencies are you?
I'm looking at the media, the church, the market women, the transport union. We must all, encourage and, engender active participation of the electorate in the, in our democratic process. So it is important for INEC, in as much as we commend them for the efforts they are putting in place towards 2019. We have always been used to this, we call it fire brigade approach. But right now we have seen a radical departure, but we can also join hands with them and, advise them, that look, it is not enough for you to tell us your preparations. It is also important for you to involve other stakeholders, so that they will be the ones that will be disseminating the information. The people need to take charge of the elections, and not INEC alone.
All right. Now, do you think it's too early to make a comparison between Jaga's era and Professor Mahmoud's era, if we have made progress or we haven't?
I think it is too early, because Professor Mahmoud Yakubu has not conducted any general elections. He has just conducted some pockets of elections, gubernatorial, senatorial, and what have you. But what we have seen is that the baton of leadership that has been handed over to Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, we have seen that he has shown the tenacity, he has shown the commitment, to be able to, to outperform his predecessor. And that is always the wish of anybody, that when you hand over the baton to somebody, you expect that person to perform better than you have done, to learn from the mistakes you have made, in order to have an improved system. And so far so good. We are optimistic. We are very, very hopeful that with our collaborative support for this INEC, because like I told you earlier on, the successful conduct of an election is not that of INEC alone, because INEC is going to make use of other Nigerians. Security men will be there, the electorate, maybe the youth service corps members. These are all stakeholders in the process, the political parties. We have to, ensure we give them enough sensitization not to see election as a do-or-die affair, and what have you.
All right, right. What do you make of his attempt as well to ensure that the commission is, made free of, corrupt elements? You must remember very clearly, not too long ago, he was the one, giving us, details of some of its, officials who have been found in a wanting.
Yes, yes. Again, I think we must commend INEC because some of its officials who have been alleged of corrupt practices in the conduct of the last general elections have been arraigned in court. And also, INEC itself, under the present leadership, has done the needful of placing such officials on suspension and, making that clarification that such officials, until they are cleared by the courts, they cannot partake in any of the electoral processes for now. I think that will send a clear signal to other persons in the commission that, look, the commission has an in-house cleaning method, and also I think the society itself has to take particular interest in those people who have been alleged, so that we can, make sure that that societal reprimand, that societal rebuke, we place it on such people and their families, because that will go a long way, rather than only getting conviction. That when, before in this same society, when somebody is alleged to be a thief, to have been involved in corrupt practices or involved in criminality, the blemish is on the family. So I think we need to go back to that process, and it will serve as a mechanism for curtailing the preponderance of people to commit crime the more.
All right. Now, in what areas exactly do you think that INEC needs to sensitize people as we begin, as we have, as we have started to count down to the elections? In what areas do you think that INEC has got the responsibility to sensitize the electorate upon?
Yes, INEC, like I said earlier on, and I will continue to insist that this responsibility is not that of INEC alone. We cannot leave it to INEC, because the election is not being conducted for INEC. It's being conducted for the Nigerian people. Whoever gets into political office will determine our economic destiny for a fixed period of time. So it is important for us to ensure critically the voter education, that people should understand the essence why they are voting. Because time and time again, you see people go to the polling units waiting to be induced. You hear all sorts of acronyms during the election period. We must ensure that the only way we can make our political class to sit up is when they realize the power of the voters. That, look, it is not about the cup of rice or the monetary inducement you give to the voters. The voters themselves, they are going to do a critical analysis of the candidates and their political parties. And if they find you wanting, no matter what you throw at them, it will just be like, throwing water, into a basket. So we need to seriously sensitize and engage the electorate such that, they will be very, very well informed about making the political decision when election day comes.
Chairman, Committee for Protection of People's Mandate, Nelson Ekujumi, thank you very much indeed for coming to share your thoughts with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right.